Alright, so on this one, we're going to say that this is the mid-segment, so DE is half the size of GH. So I'm going to have to double DE to make it equal to H. There we go. That's going to give me 8x plus 10 is equal to 3x plus 25. I'm going to move the 10, move the 3x. 5x is equal to 15. X is equal to 3. Once I get x equal to 3, they're asking for DE. I drop it back in there. 4 times 3 plus 5 is equal to DE. X is 3. And that'll give me 17. Boom. Find x and y. So on the first one, we just have an x that we need to find. And we've got side, angle, side congruency between the two, which means that these sides are going to be congruent. I've got 7x minus 16 is equal to 3x plus 8. I'm going to move the 16, move the 3, give 4x is equal to 24. And that'll give me x is equal to 6. Over here on this one, you're going to have to set up a system. So I've got 5x minus 1. These are going to be congruent by HL. Side, well actually, you can just side angle side these bad boys again and make them congruent. 5x minus 1 is going to be equal to 3y. And then 2y plus 1 is equal to 2y, or 2x rather, minus plus 3. I'm going to pull the 1 and then divide everything by 2. So I'm going to get y is equal to x plus 1. And then I'm going to substitute this in up top. So I've got 5x minus 1 is equal to 3y. And I'm going to substitute in my 3x plus, or my x plus 1 in for y. So I have 5x minus 1 distribute the 3, 3x plus 3. I'm going to move the 3x, move the 1, so 2x is equal to 4. X is going to be equal to 2. Once I know that, I can drop it in here. And then y will be equal to 3. Over on this side, box those up. Over on this side, we've got our shape. They're going to go through and tell you that all of these are congruent, and that basically means that you've got mid segments in there. So RS is going to be parallel to JL down there at the bottom. You don't have to call it J. You can call it LJ. You can call it TJ. It doesn't matter, as long as you get 2 of those 3 points. ST is going to be congruent to JK. I've got KL is parallel, not congruent, parallel to RT. And then my congruencies, SL is going to be the same as SK, and it's also going to be the same as RT. The same thing is going to be true on my other ones. I've got JR, RK, and TS. I've got JT, TL, and RS. Going to be the same. Boom. Alright. What are they? Remember, perpendicular bisectors cut a side in half at a 90-degree angle. So like this one. This line comes down, cuts this side in half at a 90-degree angle. This is a perpendicular bisector. This side comes down at 90. Notice it doesn't cut anything in half. No dice. Nothing. Comes down, cuts it in half, but not a 90. So this one's the only one that's a perpendicular bisector. Is it a median? Median comes from the vertex, cuts a side in half. Comes from the vertex, cuts a side in half. This one is a median. This one, not a median. It comes from the corner, but doesn't cut that side in half. This one comes from a corner, cuts the side in half. This one is a median as well. Altitude, it's going to come and just from the vertex, drop down and hit the side at a 90. It doesn't matter where, it just comes from the vertex, hits the side at a 90. This one is also going to be an altitude. Comes from the vertex, does not hit the side at a 90. Leaves at a 90, but doesn't hit the side at a 90. So this one's not an altitude. We're going to say, just for sure, this one is nothing. And then this last one, there's no 90, can't be an altitude. Sliding it up. Given that AB is congruent to BC, so we have these two sides congruent. We know that this side right here is shared between the two triangles, between ABD and CBD. So by HL, they're going to be the same. Since they are the same, I know these two corners are going to be the same. If this one's 39, this one's 39, and that's going to make ABC 39 times 2, or 78 degrees. G is the centroid. That's going to give us the 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, 1 here. If this is 13, then FG is going to be half of that, or 6.5. And if this is 10, this piece right here will be 5, but they're asking for the whole piece, so 15. Be careful on that. You want to make sure that you're giving them what they asked for. On our next page, I'm going to get into a little bit of quadratics. It's not too heavy. In center. In center means all of these are going to be the same because you got a circle coming from that point that's going to connect with all the sides. This is 20. This is 3x minus 5. And then you will have a x plus 5 right here. Because if it's here, it's also going to be on that one. You're going to get a little bit of foiling. We got 3x minus 5 and then equal to 20 squared. You're going to want to rewrite it as x plus 5 times x plus 5 so you can FOIL it. You're going to get x squared plus 10x plus 25x, or plus 25. And then you're going to get 9x squared minus 30x and then plus 25 again. And that's going to equal 400 once you FOIL it all out. Combining my x squareds, I'll have 10 of those. My regular x's, I'll have negative 20 of those, and then I'll have a 50 hanging out as well. And I've got to move that 400 over so I can factor. 10x squared minus 20x minus 350 equals 0. Once I pull the 400 over, I'm going to drop a 0 off of everything, and that'll allow me to factor. I'll get x minus 7, x plus 5. So x could be negative 7, x could be positive 7 rather, or negative 5. I can throw out the negative 5 because I don't want a side length of 0. And then JG is going to be 7 plus 5. It's going to be 12. All right, sliding it up. Is it possible to construct a triangle with these side lengths? First one, no dice, because 20 and 26 are not big enough to cover the side of 65. You'll have a gap here. It's just not big enough. This one, yes, because you've got 6 and 39. They will be able to cover that 43 side. And then this one, no. Again, if I have a 45 length and I have a 7 length, it's just not going to be big enough to hit up that 54. We'll make it a little bit longer. So this one's 54. You'll notice it's just not going to reach. Not going to reach and make that triangle. Sliding it up. Possible side lengths. All right. So you need something that's big enough to span the gap. It's like 3. It's got to be at least 3. Well, it's got to be more than 3 to make that gap happen. And then you've got to be no larger than 15 because 6 and 9 together can only make a side of 15. Got to be smaller than that much. Same thing here. We'll just throw on some inches just to be safe. Same thing here. We have a difference of 8, so it can't be. It's got to be at least 8 or we won't be able to cover that gap. And it can't be any larger than 16 or again, you won't. It'll be too big for those other two sides. Our last one is going to be 9 and what is that, 27? Look, feeling good. Feeling good. And then this one, to do A-frame house. So the second floor is labeled LM. It is closer to the first floor in P than the mid-segment JK. So it's got our handy picture here. JK is going to be 14 feet long. Can LM be 12 feet long? No, it cannot. It's got to be bigger as you go down. Can it be 14? No, it cannot be 14. Could it be 24? All right. So now here's the problem. Your base is going to be 28 because JK is the mid-segment. So 12 and 14 are both no. 20 is good. 24 is good. And then 30 is no good. Why is 30 no good? Because that's the length of the base and you want to be between those two floors. Anyway, so there you go. We'll cut the video here.